Hey everybody. Recently I had a disagreement with fellow Paleolibertarian Ilana Mercer on Twitter. And if there's one thing we both learned from this exchange, it's that we don't much like each other. First off, I have to say that Ilana is brilliant. She has written eloquently in defense of white South Africa, and she's also a contributor to the Abbeville Institute. If Ben Shapiro was to be considered the intellectual Zio B or C team, Ilana is definitely their A team. Ilana likes to say that there's only 3 or 4 paleo-libertarians in the whole world. But I disagree. It's more like millions of us. It's just that we're not as renowned and famous like Ilana. Ilana and Jeff Deist. Whoever the third one is. As a homeschooled child, my parents encouraged me to read Miss Mercer. I used to read her WorldNet Daily posts. And of course, my parents encouraged me to study Rothbard as well. And it was actually through Rothbard that I found out about David Duke. The state of Israel was a topic of contention between Murray Rothbard and Ayn Rand, and it seems to be one between me and Miss Mercer as well. Although I'd like to think that if Ayn Rand were alive today, that she'd see the state of Israel for what it really is. Anyways, I really do like Ilana Mercer, and so it pains me to make this video. A few years ago I had an I'm done moment, and I quit reading her. It was just too much for me when she was defending the looting of Americans by foreign agents. I remember it as if it were only yesterday.
Don't blame the foreign lobbyists, for they are just trying to get the best deal for their country. Instead, blame the American politicians, and if you have to blame someone else, blame ourselves.
I asked Ilana about all this on Twitter, and she doubled down. She told me that the countries that send us these lobbyists are acting in their own best interests, and that the American politicians who cooperate with her sanctified lobbyists should be condemned as traitors. Ilana, why all the love for lobbyists? Are you sure you're not just trying to defend a very specific group of lobbyists? Ilana, your daddy was a rabbi, and that's something you and I have in common. Ilana, did you know? I'm a rabbi too. Ilana told us to blame ourselves, but what I think she really meant is yourselves. I don't think she includes herself in all this. It's you goy people over there. Blame yourselves. I don't buy that Ilana has a soft spot in her heart for lobbyists. You know what I think? I think this is all about defending AIPAC. But in order for her to defend her buddies, she needs to formulate her arguments in a general way, and hope that we goy are too stupid to notice. What about all the other special interest groups? Is acting in one's self-interest enough to absolve you of moral accountability? Because in that case, we should be praising Facebook and Twitter, Amazon, BLM, and the SPLC. They're all righteous, according to Ilana's twisted logic. I remember when I was little, Ilana was fighting with this libertarian guy. He wrote for antiwar.com, but it seems like he's disappeared off the net. Anyways, she was putting him down. She said his grammar sucked, since she's a grammarian. And she asked if he even had a job. Well, I remember all this because his response was pretty funny. He said, "I may not have her high Jewish learning, but I know right from wrong, and that bitch is wrong."